Managing your finances can be difficult, even if you had some financial coaching in school. When it comes to our money and where it goes, it can be tempting to bury our heads in the sand due to rising personal debt levels, rising living expenses, and the availability of 24/7 shopping on our smartphones. Financial errors are simple to make, especially when we have a lot on our plates and are easily distracted. We've examined the top 5 mistakes and how to avoid them in order to help you get a handle on your finances. Belief that all forms of credit are equal, taking on excessive debt, not having an emergency fund, failure to create a budget, no long-term saving strategy. So get ready to have a ride full of money-saving ideas. 1. Belief that all forms of credit are equal. Before taking out any additional loans, think about how you'll pay them back. The next thing you need to think about is how long you need it for. Borrowing for a short period of time can be expensive, especially if you don't have anything you can use as security, like a property. Do you know about overdraft? An overdraft is a quick and simple loan, but the fees start to rise if you go over your limit or into an unauthorized overdraft. Many banks introduced planned overdraft interest rate increases in 2020. Some now charge up to 40% for those who frequently use an overdraft. Customers who accidentally go overdrawn or only occasionally dip into their overdraft were subject to lower overdraft fees. The next thing is credit cards. You do need a plan to pay it off, but using a credit card can help you spread out the cost of repayment for a large item over manageable periods of time. If you have a high-cost debt, you can try to transfer it somewhere else. It will take a long time to pay off the borrowing, for instance, if you only pay the minimum due each month or have a high APR on your credit card. Find a credit card with a low introductory rate or one that offers you a lengthy interest-free period, such as a 0% balance transfer or purchase card, as an alternative. When calculating the amount you are likely to save, don't forget to account for the transfer fee. It can be challenging to know what to prioritize first when you have a mortgage, a car payment, student loans, and credit card debt. However, financial advisors advise you to exercise caution when choosing which debts to pay off first. According to Kelly Welch, a Pennsylvania-based CFP at Girard, a Univest wealth division, I find that many people pay extra toward their mortgage with a rate of 3% instead of attacking their student or car loans that often have much higher interest rates. Write down all of your balances and the corresponding interest rates before beginning to develop your debt repayment strategy. Welch advises beginning with the debt with the highest interest rate, such as credit cards, before moving on to debt with a lower interest rate, such as mortgages. Brenton Harrison, a financial advisor with Henderson Financial Group in Tennessee, tells Select, "I urge my clients to treat credit card debt with a sense of urgency, occasionally even pausing retirement contributions until they can get their balances under control. Paying them off raises your credit score and frees up money in your budget so that you can put more money toward investments and savings." According to Tane, paying off your high-interest debt can help you save money in a variety of ways. When you are paying more interest on debt each month than you are saving, she claims, it is impossible to save money at this rate. 2. Taking on excessive debt. Young people between the ages of 16 and 24 are frequently the most overcommitted, according to Guy Rigdon, CEO of MyBank. It's easy to stretch your finances too thin when there are so many competing demands. He mentions how their finances are being strained by their inconsistent income, student loans, and the difficulties of the gig economy. Guy claims that, excluding student loans, more than a third of the young people he sees have debts totaling more than £3,000 in total. Each month, paying for household expenses, mobile phone contracts, car loans, and broadband can be a significant financial commitment. The coronavirus pandemic hasn't helped the situation for young people. Unfortunately, employment among those aged 16 to 24 is at a record low, declining by 174,000 jobs between July and December. How to stay away from taking on too much debt. For necessities like utilities, try to comparison shop. To ensure you are receiving the best price, use comparison websites. Don't upgrade your phone unless absolutely necessary and switch to a monthly mobile bill. Unsubscribe from any and all online retailers that send you daily emails urging you to make purchases there. 3. Not having an emergency fund. If 2020 taught us anything about money, it's the value of having an emergency fund to draw from in the event of unplanned events like a job loss or unexpected medical expenses. If you don't have any extra money set aside, you must use pricey methods of financing your life. This can involve using payday loans frequently, taking out cash advances, or accruing high-interest credit card debt. According to Leslie Tain, a debt relief attorney with Tain Law Group, access to many of these financing options will also depend on your credit score. Lenders use your credit score to determine how much credit to extend to you and what interest rate to impose. It's possible that you won't get the best rates if your score is low. Tain advises beginning small when starting to accumulate an emergency fund. She claims that even putting aside a small sum, like $25 per week, will result in $1,300 at the end of the year. If you have your basic needs met, other financial advisors advise using any financial windfalls, like a stimulus check and/or a tax refund, to jumpstart your emergency fund. Even a $1,000 buffer can relieve a lot of your stress, according to Danielle Harrison, a CFP with Harrison Financial Planning in Missouri. Not all financial advisors concur on what to do if you're trying to save for an emergency fund while managing high-interest debt. Building an emergency fund before paying off your credit card debt is bad advice, according to some experts. On the other hand, others advise prioritizing your emergency savings before accelerating your debt repayment. Wilson Muscadin, financial advisor and founder of The Money Speakeasy, say that many people detest consumer debt and are motivated by being totally debt-free. While that is an admirable and worthwhile objective, it shouldn't come at the expense of being ready for emergencies. In a sense, they are gambling that they won't experience a financial emergency during the time it takes to pay off that debt. 4. Failure to create a budget. It's a good idea to create a budget for yourself, even if you can comfortably afford your monthly expenses. A budget allows you to keep track of your spending and ensures that you put your money toward the things that are truly important to you and give you joy rather than impulsive purchases that you will regret later. A budget will help you identify areas where non-essential spending can be reduced if you are struggling to make ends meet. A budget planner that is free and simple to use is available from Money Advice Service. List all of your expenses, including bills, rent or mortgage, and necessities like food and childcare. Include all of your income, including any interest from savings. If your household has 2 earners, you might think about opening a bank account just for bills and necessities and setting up a standing order to pay your share into that account. Remember that you might need to plan ahead for long-term purchases like reading glasses, professional attire, and the cost of maintaining a car. 5. Lacking a long-term savings strategy. Your finances can be more organized if you have a long-term savings plan or goal. You may benefit from it when it comes to clearing debt and paying regular bills. Having a goal can motivate you to accumulate savings. The Step Change Debt Charity estimates that only about 25% of adults have savings totaling less than £100. Starting your savings. You need to have an emergency fund that can cover your expenses for at least 3 months. Once you've saved up this sum in an easily accessible deposit savings account, you can start planning for the future and start saving little sums in a regular savings account or an ISA. Establishing your spending habits is a first step in saving money. Keep a record of every penny you spend, including regular monthly bills and purchases like household goods, coffee, and cash tips. You can keep track of your spending using a pencil and paper, a straightforward spreadsheet, a free online spending tracker, or an app. After gathering your data, group the figures into categories like mortgage, gas, and groceries, and then add up each amount. Verify that you have everything by using your bank and credit card statements. The process of making a budget can now be started since you are aware of your monthly spending. So that you can plan your spending and avoid going overboard, your budget should show how your expenses compare to your income. Don't forget to account for regular but irregular expenses like auto maintenance. Create a category in your budget for savings and try to save money at first at a level that feels comfortable to you. I hope you liked the video. If you do, please like the video, hit the subscribe button, and press the bell icon so you don't lose out on any important info that can make you rich.